Hi guys, this is Sunny. Welcome to the third tutorial in this Java series for beginners. I know I haven't made any tutorials for the last few months or probably a year or something. I apologize for that. I was extremely busy with my projects. I did not get any time to make any tutorials. But I want to show you guys that from now on I will be very active in making tutorials, so you guys won't have to wait much. Having said that, there's one more thing I want to mention, that in my last tutorial, which was the second tutorial in the series, I was using a different IDE, which was Eclipse. In this tutorial I'm using something called IntelliJ, which is another IDE. You guys won't have to change your IDE. It's just that I am using a different IDE for a simple reason that I'm in my recent project. I'm using IntelliJ and I really like IntelliJ. If you guys want to use IntelliJ, I will probably make a tutorial, or you can just go online, follow the steps on downloading IntelliJ and import the current project into IntelliJ, and then you can start using your project within this IDE. But again, you guys won't have to do it. It's just that I'm doing it. In your case, since you're using Eclipse, I will be telling you the same shortcuts, how to run the application. Everything will be the same. It's just that you'll be using Eclipse and I'll be using IntelliJ. There won't be much difference in your case. I will be helping you out because previously I've been using Eclipse for a very long time. I know the shortcuts, I know how to run the application and all that kind of stuff. But in this case, on my case, I'm using IntelliJ. So I hope everything is sorted on this end. Okay, so the next thing, I want to start the third tutorial now in this series. So as you can see, this is the same project structure that I had in my last tutorial. We finished up to tutorial 2. This is my third tutorial, so I already created a package. So you should go ahead and create a package named tutorial 3, and within that you should create a class which is main. So I have a main class in my package tutorial 3, which is just empty. So I hope you have this set up already. So now we can go ahead and start working on this tutorial. So in this tutorial, what I want to do is I want to talk about something called variables in Java. In my last tutorial, I talked about how to run an application, how to print something on the console. I think we printed hello world using system out, which is good as a starting point, which is a good thing. But when you're building an application, you may not be printing anything directly onto the console, or you won't be typing in directly onto the console with a string. You may have something, some variable where you be using that variable throughout the application as a placeholder, and using that variable in the system out or in any other places throughout the application. So let's talk about that. So in this tutorial, I'm going to talk about something called variables. So don't worry about this, how I put this. I will talk about this, something called a comment. I'll talk about commenting in another tutorial, so don't worry about that. Just want to put this title over here saying variables. So now I want to talk about variables. So here I will start off with one data type which is heavily used, which is called string. So string is anything that you can think of. For example, let's say you want to type your name. Let's say you want to put your name on a console. Let's say hello world, for example. In my last tutorial, we used hello world. We did directly like this. We did system.out.println, and we did hello world, and at the end semicolon. So this is good. So you can run the application. In your case, you can go, if you're using Eclipse, you can go up there and run the application, there should be a button at the top somewhere over here. If you're using IntelliJ, you can use Control Shift and F10. That's going to run the application for you, and you see you have hello world printed over here. That's fine. This is what we did in the last tutorial. But now I want to do something different. I want to use a variable that stores this value, and we're going to use that variable to print out whatever we have stored in that variable. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to say string, because hello world was a string, and so here I'm going to declare the name of the string. Let's say I'm going to say hello world equals, in quotes, is going to be in double quotes, so it's going to be hello comma world exclamation mark and semicolon. So let me talk a bit about this, what I'm doing here. So here from the left you have a type which is called string. There's many types in Java, so one of them is string, and this is heavily used because you have a lot of string types. You have a lot of texts, and all those texts will go into something called string. So here I'm declaring a variable. So this is the variable name, which is called hello world. There's something good about this, something particular about this variable name. So if you look at this, the starting letter of this variable name is lower camel case, starts with a lower h, and then everything else is lowercase, and the next word, which was world, starts with a capital camel case or upper camel case, and all the other words, all the other letters are lowercase. So that's the regular convention in Java. This is how you declare a variable. So lower camel case, start with the lower camel case, and the next word is going to be upper camel case, and then everything else is going to be lowercase. And equals, and that means I want to store a value into this variable, and the value is going to be hello world. I hope that's clear. And the next thing I want to do is I want to show this on the console. So I'm going to do system.out.println, and I want to say hello world. That's it. So now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to run the application, Control Shift F10, or you have Eclipse, you can go up there somewhere at the top, and you should have a run button to run the application. So as you can see, it prints out the value. It didn't print out the name of the variable though. It just printed out the value that's associated to this variable name, and the value is hello world. So I want to give one more example, which is so this is for any text. You can store any text you want. I want to give an example of, let's say, an integer. Let's say I want to have an integer value, so I can say int. This is another data type in Java, and I want to say first int. Again, look at the naming convention. I have the first letter is going to be lower camel case, and the next word was int, so there's going to be capital upper camel case, and the value I want to say is as 1 2 3 4 and 1 2 3 4 and semicolon. I want to print it out, so you can say system.out.println and first int semicolon at the end. So again, you can run the application. You will see hello world, and the next line you have 1 2 3 4, and that's how you store values in a variable and then display them on the console. This is a very simple example. You can play around more. You can define your own variables and print them on the console. That gives you some idea how to store values in a variable. Again, in any application you're building, you definitely want to store your values in a variable and then display them on the console. So this is a very powerful tool. I hope this is clear. So I'm going to end this tutorial here. In my next tutorial I will talk about something different. I hope this is clear. If there's any questions or confusions or anything, please let me know. Leave a comment on the video comment section, and I'll definitely get back to you guys. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much, guys. Have a nice day.